it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book haul. You might have two book hauls back to back if I can't think of another idea. We'll see what happens. You can hear my husband outside. He's right outside this window. Sorry, and the dryer's going. Thought I'd film somewhere new, so at least get some books in the video for a change. This is my bookshelf in my bedroom beside my bed. It just is easier with my pup. She just wants to be in here. I'm going to start with the books that were sent to me. First, Hardie Grant. Hardie Grant had reached out to me because I had loved The Orchard Underground by Matt Larkin and asked if I wanted the next book in the series, which is going to be actually a prequel. And I was like, yes, thank you, please. And I'm grateful no matter what. Like in UK, I said how shipping is insane, but Australia shipping really is insane. Like for me to buy an Australian release for like an $8, a book that would normally be like $8 or something, it's $20 to $30 US. So I'm so grateful for this. They sent me The Chameleon Thief by Matt Larkin, which is the prequel to The Orchard Underground. That book. And I loved it, so thank you so much. And then they surprised me with another book, Big Magic by Sarah Armstrong, and this is an anticipated release, so I'm so happy. This is out now, and I'll edit in when this comes out. Editing bell. This comes out May 4th, but I realized I also didn't read the synopsis for this one. 11-year-old Tulsi lives in a traveling circus. She comes from a long line of women magicians, but her mother has always forbidden her to learn big magic. It's dangerous, thrilling, and powerful, and Tulsi wants it more than anything. But one hot summer's night, a magic trick goes horribly wrong and her mother disappears. Only one person can bring her back, and that's Tulsi. First, though, she must learn a lifetime's worth of big magic before the next full moon. It's an impossible task, especially when her teacher, her strange grandmother Sylvie, was long ago banned from doing any big magic at all. Tulsi is determined to save her mom, but does she have what it takes? And where exactly has her mother gone? Sounds incredible. But I am so excited. Thank you so much. I'm so happy. And then Books Forward on Instagram reached out and asked if I wanted to be part of the tour for this upcoming release. It was out on May 3rd, I believe. Freddie versus the Family Curse by Tracy, Badua. This is a highly anticipated release for May, so of course I said yes. And then they sent me a ton of bookmarks. So thank you so much, but I'm so excited for this. Freddie Ruiz is cursed. 12-year-old Freddie is no stranger to bad luck. He's learned to lie low and keep himself out of trouble, which means no fun, no friends, and definitely no risks. But when he finds a family heirloom, an amulet that's supposed to bring good fortune, Freddie thinks his luck is finally about to change. He couldn't be more wrong, because the spirit of Freddie's cranky great-granduncle, Raymond, is trapped in the heirloom, and the evil spirits responsible for his death have returned with a vengeance. Now Freddie has 13 days to break the curse, or he'll join Raymond for an afterlife in the amulet. And this comes out May 3rd, and my date to post is a little more towards the end of April, so I'll have this read and my review read so I can put my review up on the date that I have. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And then again with Australian releases, so grateful. I had read Alex and the Alpaca Save the World by Kathryn Lefroy. The author had sent me the book and I absolutely loved it. And this is it. Alex is expecting a pretty boring summer, but when Mom takes her to visit her cranky old grandfather on his farm in Tasmania, weird things start to happen. The weirdest of all, her grandfather's alpacas can talk. Then things go from strange to scary, and Alex must use all her brilliance and bravery to survive the sinister forces threatening life as she knows it. So when I heard the sequel was coming out, I was so excited. And I already have this book. They sent me the first book. I only know about the second book, so they sent me the first book, so I might do a giveaway for this since I already own it, if it's the same edition that I have. And so they sent me Fremantle. Okay, the author sent me that one a while ago, and I'd read it and loved it. And then Fremantle Press, the publisher, reached out and asked if I'd like the sequel, Alex and the Alpacas Ride Again. And it's an anticipated release, so of course I said yes. I mean, talking alpacas. And so they sent me this, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And then they also included a bonus. And this is an anticipated release again, so I was very happy. The Vexatious Haunting of Lily Griffin by Paula Hayes. This comes out in July. And then the second book comes out in June. Paper they included said this comes out June 1st. And this comes out July 5th. And it says that this is an omnibus of 3 novels in one book, 448 pages of non-stop ghostly adventures. And on the back it says, bookworm Lily Griffin has a lot to handle with a bullying big brother and a frenetic family, but going to stay with her beloved grandfather changes everything. In his rambling country house, long-forgotten secrets lurk in locked rooms. With her gift of intuition and imagination, Lily is the perfect person to investigate the strange goings-on, even if she says so herself. And as magical mysteries unravel, Lily finds herself surrounded by weird and wonderful pals, both dead and alive. That sounds great. So excited. So thank you so much, Fremantle Press. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, well, yesterday I had 3 packages on the front porch I wasn't expecting. And the first one was The Prince of Nowhere by Rochelle, Hassan, and Harpercollins sent this. So thank you so much. I did not know this was coming, and it's an anticipated release. And it comes out in May. I'll edit in here when it comes out. May 3rd. So beautiful. Rhoda isn't afraid of the monsters that roam the wilds of the Arlands. She's safe in her small town, which is surrounded by a wall of freezing, enchanted mist that keeps the beast away. So when Rhoda rescues an injured crow on the instruction of her secret pen pal, Anonymous, whose letters arrive without warning and correctly predict the future, she's surprised to learn she's brought one of the so-called monsters home, because her crow is really a shape-shifting boy named Ignis. Ignis doesn't remember where he was going before he crashed, but Anonymous brought him and Rhoda together for a reason. And the only way to find out what Anonymous wants is to follow the trail of baffling clues in Rhoda's letters. Their perilous journey leads them into the mist and beyond to a mysterious place called Nowhere. But Ignis has secrets, and the farther they get, the more Rhoda doubts she can trust him. As a nefarious force closes in, they'll have to put aside their differences and work together, for they might be each other's only defense against an enemy who threatens their past, present, and future. And that sounds so good. I'm so excited. And then a box from HarperCollins, and I think this is the first box I've gotten from them. And it had 2 books in it. And they're also May anticipated releases. And again, I'll include exact dates. I'll edit in here. The first one was Yonder by Ali Standish. So excited. It's so beautiful. Who ever heard of a place called Yonder? A place where cornstalks grow to the sky and the whole town ate at one long table. Where there was no trouble, no war? Danny Timmons has looked up to Jack Bailey ever since the older boy saved 2 small children from drowning during the Great Flood of 1940. Now, with his father away fighting in World War II and his mother about to have a new baby, Danny relies on Jack's friendship and guidance more than ever. So when Jack goes missing without a trace from their small Appalachian town, Danny is determined to find him. He wonders if Jack's abusive father could be behind his disappearance or if it has anything to do with Yonder, a hidden magical town Jack once spoke of, where flocks of rainbow birds fly through the sky and they've never even heard of war. As answers elude him, Danny begins to fear that he didn't know Jack as well as he thought. Eventually, Danny's search forces him to reckon with even larger questions. What is America fighting for in this war? What role do each of us play in stopping injustices, big and small? And is there such a thing as a true hero? So intrigued by this. Sounds like an amazing story that'll be some important issues, and I'm just excited to see. And then the other book that was in there was Drifters by Kevin Emerson, another highly anticipated release. It's a big boy. Jovi is adrift. She's been feeling alone ever since her best friend Micah left her behind for a new group of friends. But when Micah went missing last fall, Jovi was truly lost. Now, months later, the search parties have been called off and the news alerts have dried up. There's only Jovi biking around Fairhaven, Washington, putting up posters with Micah's face on them and trying not to give up hope. But as strange storms beset Fairhaven, Jovi discovers a shocking truth. Micah isn't just missing. She's been forgotten by everyone in town. And Micah isn't the only one. There are others roaming the beaches who have somehow been lost from the world. As Jovi and her new friend Sylvan dig deeper, they learn that the town's history is far stranger and more deadly than anyone suspects. Something disastrous is heading for Fairhaven, and it's up to Jovi and Sylvan to save not only Micah, but others who have been lost, now, in the past, and in the future. I think this is a sci-fi. I'm just so intrigued by that synopsis, and I have other books by him, I think, a trilogy maybe. So, no, I have something else by him that he just sounds like an amazing author. So I'm very excited. Yonder and Drifters both come out May 10th. Thank you so much, HarperCollins. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea what this did. All of this does. It just makes me so happy, no matter who is sending it. And independent authors, published authors, publishers, it doesn't matter. It just makes me so happy. And then the third thing out there, Don't Wake the Sleeper. And it's a Riordan Presents Disney Books. Riordan Presents by Disney Books. And they sent me the graphic novel adaptation of Arasha and the End of Time by Roshani Chosky. And it's adapted by Joe Caramanga. Magna, and illustrated by Anu Chauhan. And it's hardback. And this comes out Tuesday, actually, April 19th. Even the naked hardback is just beautiful. And I actually have the whole series that's currently out in my room to read, because I don't want, read my bigger series that I have. So I grabbed the first book yesterday when this came to start reading, and I started it last night. It's actually right here on my bed where I've been reading. So we're showing the end of time. I'm on page 36 because I want to read it before I read the graphic novel. And it came with this. If you want to pause and read. It just looks so beautiful in the art. I don't even know if I showed you. It's just so vibrant and beautiful. I'm so excited to read this right after I read the novel. And then it came with pajamas. Don't wake the sleeper. It's just a t-shirt. And then I love moon and stars, anything like and I have tattoos with stuff like so moon, I'm all about it. It's pajama bottoms. So I am so happy. But I will keep the box. These things are just so special to me. Like every time I get a box like this, I keep it. So thank you so much, Riordan Presents and Disney Books. You're like, I was so happy. I didn't know it was coming. But I'll read you this is the first book of this, so I'll just read the synopsis. 12-year-old Rochelle has a tendency to stretch the truth in order to fit in at school. One day, 3 schoolmates show up at Auro's doorstep to catch her in a lie. They don't believe her claim that the museum's lamp of Harasha is cursed, and they dare Auro to prove it. Just a quick light, Auro thinks. Then she can get herself out of this mess and never ever fib again. But lighting the lamp has dire consequences. She unwittingly frees the sleeper, an ancient demon whose duty is to awaken the god of destruction. Her classmates and beloved mother are frozen in time, and it's up to Auro to save them. Follow Rochelle's first thrilling adventure in this colorful and exciting graphic novel adaptation from the New York Times best-selling novel that Time magazine named one of the 100 best fantasy books of all time. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do sequels, but first I got a beautiful finished copy of 2 books that are new releases. And I told you that the Mirrorwood was an anticipated release, but I got an ARC several months ago and loved it. But I wanted a finished copy, and it's beautiful. It's the Mirrorwood by David Fagan. And I got a beautiful finished copy of The Sisters of Luna Island by Tracy. I mean, look at that. It is so beautiful. I don't even know if it's coming across. And it's that saw. I love it. So, yay. And then this is on my wish list, and I saw it for like a few bucks. I love it when Amazon marks the book down to like $2, $3, $4. Kingdom Lost, Book 1. Dragon Legend of the Boy King by Lorraine Miller and Harry Miller. Yeah, a grandson and grandmother. Isn't that cool? Like the authors. Western Sahara, Africa, 2320 AD. Not every boy wants a destiny. He didn't want to fight an army. He didn't want his brother to die. But most of all, he didn't want to care because caring hurts. Can a prince, his friends, and 3 shape-shifting dragons save their kingdom? Find out in this 4-book adventure. White Dragon, Kingdom Lost, Island Hideout, Test of Loyalty. So, I don't know if the other 3 are out yet. This was published in 2020, so I don't know. I'll have to look it up, but very excited to have the first book. Okay, and I said I was going to do sequels next, but then I did that book, so okay, I did that book. Now we're going to do the sequels I got. So Amazon was having a sale, so all these books except some of the end ones are going to be because of that sale. So some sequels that I'd held off getting because of my, especially in the US because they're hardbacks and more expensive rule, the sequels I was waiting until I started the series. I went ahead and got some of them that were included on the sale because this is a great deal, so while I can. So I got Room to Dream by Kelly Yang, a front desk novel. I think this is the only one I didn't have that's currently out. I know there's another one coming. I don't remember if it's out yet, but so I got this one. So beautiful. Can't wait to binge this series. And I got the third and I think final book in City Spies series and it's Forbidden City by James Fontaine. So beautiful. I cannot wait to binge these. I've heard amazing things. It just sounds right up my alley. And of course, since these are sequels, I'm not going to read synopsis. And then I got the second book in The World Between Blinks. This is Rebellion of the Lost by Amy Kaufman and Ryan Grodding. Amy Kaufman, I know, writes young adult that a lot of people love, so I can't wait to read this in the first book and see how She co-writes middle grade. Really sound up my alley. I call these sound up my alley. And then I know the third book will be coming soon. I got the second book, Maya and the Return of the Godlings by Rena Barron. These sound so incredible. I'm so excited. And all these were included in the sale, which is why I got them. And then the second, and the A Never After Story series by Melissa de la Cruz, The Stolen Slippers. And the first book is Never After. And I think she wrote the Descendants series, the one they made at Disney movies and stuff, and I read those and I enjoyed them. So I'm excited to read more. Those are middle grade, not really younger middle grade, but more, they were like Disney-ish. Like you could, the first book was the best, and then it felt more Disney-ish, like after, I don't know how to explain it. But I'm excited to read just full-blown novels by her that are away from that. So that's all the sequels. And then also included in the sale, I got a couple of picture-light books. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, based on the original book by C.S. Lewis, illustrated by Tudor Humphreys. This is just so beautiful. And then the naked looks the same. And then Classic Stories, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And it's illustrated by Sarah Giannossi, as they say it, and I loved her stuff. So I got this one. There's a couple more of these I want to get. They weren't on the sale, but I'm going to hopefully get them soon. These are just beautiful. And then a recent release that was an anticipated one, but I hadn't had a chance to get it yet, was included in the sale, so I picked it up finally. Honestly Elliot by Gillian McDunn. I have a few of her books now, actually. And they're contemporary, but they just sound incredible. I don't hate contemporary by any means, but I do pick them up occasionally when they sound good. And this one had food, so, and it might be, I can't remember if that character had ADHD too, but sometimes finding yourself can be a little messy. Elliot has been struggling since starting middle school when his ADHD spiraled and his best friend moved away. He's not too sure where he fits in with his own family either, especially since his newly remarried dad and stepmom are expecting a baby. Especially when he already feels like his dad just doesn't get him, or his passion for cooking. In the kitchen, it's actually a good thing to have a brain that goes in 6 directions at once. When he's paired with the popular and super smart Maribel for a school-wide project, Elliot worries they won't see eye to eye. But Maribel is also looking for a way to show others her true self, and this project could be the chance they've both been waiting for. Sometimes the least likely friends help you see a new side to things, and sometimes you have to make a few mistakes before you figure out what's right. So I can relate to the ADHD part, and maybe that's why I like cooking, because he says it's good when your brain goes in 6 directions at once. But the ADHD, the blended family, and then the food. So very excited to finally have this. This is a book I always see, and it always pops up on my recommended, and it was in the sale, so I finally got it. The Girl with Silver Eyes by Willow Davis Roberts. There's something strange about that kid. Katy Walker is used to being alone. She would rather read a book than deal with other people. I can relate. Other people don't have silver eyes. Other people can't make things happen just by thinking about them. These things make Kate unusual, and it's hard to make friends when you're unusual. Katy knows she's different, but she's never tried to hurt anyone. However, not everyone believes that. Maybe there are other kids out there who have the same silver eyes and the same talents, and maybe they'll be willing to help her. And it's a quick read, but I'm just so intrigued by it, and I see it all the time recommended on Amazon and my Goodreads, like in the recommended for you section, so I finally got it. And then one of my searches, I thought there was a second book coming, so I saved it in my wish list, and then when I saw that, I saw that the first book was on the sale, so I got it. I see it everywhere, and it always sounds so good. Finally, Something Mysterious by Doug Cornett. Mystery? Finally. The town of Bellwood is strange, but still, boring. Amateur sleuths Paul Marconi and his friends, who as only children call themselves the one and onlys, spend their time waiting for a real mystery to solve. There have been small ones, sure, but identifying the meat in the cafeteria lunch was nothing compared to a lawn full of rubber duckies that appeared overnight. While the police don't think this is a big deal, the kids are convinced something strange is afoot. They start collecting clues, and soon the suspects are piling up. Is it the grumpy next-door neighbor, the guy with the broken taillight, the kid with the mud on her shoes? The one and onlys are on the case. As if that weren't enough, wildfires are raging nearby. Signs have started popping up saying the Conquistador is coming, and the annual Bratwurst Bonanza is promising to deliver more than a few surprises. Maybe Bellwood isn't so boring after all. Love a good detective sleuthing style mystery, and this sounds so good. And then a series that sounds so up my alley, but the covers just, I don't know. I like the covers now that I see it in person, but online I was just like, I don't know. But actually, it's kind of cool. The first book was in the sale, so the Overthrow series, book 1, Bloom by Kenneth Ogle. This is not the invasion you were expecting. It was just rain. But after the downpour, odd black plants began to shoot up. Suddenly, they are everywhere. They take over fields and twine around houses. They bloom and throw off toxic pollen, and they feed. Strangely, 3 teens on a small Gulf island seem immune. Anaya, Petra, and Seth. What's their connection? What's their secret? A week ago, they wouldn't have thought they had one. But they better figure it out fast. The invasion has already begun. Very intrigued, very excited. Another one I've been wanting forever, just haven't picked up. The first book, The Last Day of Summer by Lamar Giles. Otto and Sheet Austin are the local sleuths in their zany Virginia town, masters of unraveling mischief using their unmatched powers of deduction. As summer winds down and the first day of school looms, the boys are craving just a little more time for fun, even as they bicker over what kind of fun they want to have. That is, until a mysterious man named Mr. Flux appears with a camera that literally freezes time. Now, with the help of some very strange people and even stranger creatures, Otto and Sheed will have to put aside their differences to save their town and each other. The legendary Austin boys have always lived in the moment, but if they don't do something fast, they may be living in this moment forever. Now they're sleuthing in Virginia. And one of my anticipated releases that was included in the sale that just came out, Healer and Witch by Nancy Werland. And I read this in 2 anticipated releases video because it was supposed to come out in March and didn't. And then in my April, so I'm not going to read the synopsis for these new releases. But this just sounds so good. I'm so excited. Oh, so happy this is finally out. So the last 2 I will read synopsis for. They're anticipated releases, but I don't think I had them in a video. But the next, like 5, I'm not going to because they were in my anticipated release video. The Not So Uniform Life of Holly Mae by Christina Matula. It sounds so fun and like an important read too, like some important topics. So I'm very excited. And then Drive Through Miracle by Dana Edwards. It's a beautiful cover. Very excited to read this with the faith and stuff woven in it. Cannot wait. So happy that's out. And then The Last Map Maker by Christina Suntornbutt. So beautiful. This is a fantasy, and I'm very excited. I have several books by her, and cannot wait to dive in. And then Lifeline by Kirsty Applebaum. Such a stunning cover. Very intrigued by this synopsis, and I just always heard great things about her writing. I'm very happy to have this. Then The Einsteins of Vista Point by Ben Gutterson. He's the author of the Winter House series, which is a top favorite series. I absolutely love that, so I can't wait to see what he does next in this. It's a shorter book, like regular size, US. You can see, so it's a little bit shorter in height, but sounds amazing. Got some illustrations too. Very excited. And these last 2 I will read synopsis because I don't think I'd included them. AJ and the Mumbai Sun by Varsha Shah. Such a beautiful cover, even the end pages. Some illustrations. Abandoned on the Mumbai railways, AJ has grown up with nothing but burning wish to be a journalist. Finding a discarded printing press, he and his friends, Saif, Vinod, Yasmin, and Jai, create their own newspaper, the Mumbai Sun. As they hunt down stories for their paper, the children uncover corruption, fight for justice, and the battle to save their slum from bulldozers. But against some of the most powerful forces in the city, can AJ and his friends really succeed in bringing the truth to light? Not to mention win the most important cricket match ever? I might have included this in my anticipated release. But either way, if I did, sorry, I read synopsis again. Very excited. And lastly, and I think the second book comes out in September, but Ming and Flo, Fight for the Future by Jackie French. Look at that cover. And the series is called The Girls Who Changed the World. 12-year-old Ming Kong is convinced that girls must have changed the world, even if they are rarely mentioned in history books. So when Ming gets the chance to go back in time, she imagines herself changing destinies from a glittering palace or an explorer ship. Instead, she ends up in Australia, 1898, living a tough life as Flo Watson on a drought-stricken farm. Luckily, Ming is rescued by Flo's Aunt McTavish. Wealthy Aunt McTavish belongs to Louisa Lawson's suffragist society, who are desperately and courageously fighting for women's rights. And Ming is determined to get involved to make a difference. But change is never easy, so how can one girl change the world? So excited. I've learned that I love suffragist, I never say that right, books, and so I'm very excited to read this, and it's so beautiful. Alright, y'all. That's finally it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Do you see any that you're interested in or excited about? I am so excited. I am so happy right now, and thank you so much to everyone that sent me the books. Book Forward on Instagram, Fremantle Press, Hardie Grant Publishing, Riordan and Disney Books, and Harpercollins. Thank you so much. Anybody that ever sends me, you have no idea what it means to me. Like, I almost cried yesterday. Like I had to stop myself. So, very excited. And I'm excited to put these books up now that I'm reading for review, and then my sequels that I'm reading for review up on my top shelf where they go. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to. I don't know if you enjoy this new location. It's hurting my back a little bit, but my legs didn't fall asleep. Like I said, if you'd like to subscribe, I'd love that if you'd like to. And I'll see you in my next video. Oh, and so, I'm the beast today. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.